let's talk about the future of Islands of Adventure and dive right in. And just like that, we've made it into Islands of Adventure, and our adventure is about to begin. Oh yeah. But instead of cruising around the park today, we're going to be talking about one specific topic, and that is the Lost Continent. So let's head over there. And just like that, we've made it to the Lost Continent, one of the original opening day lands here at Islands of Adventure. And if you've never been to Islands of Adventure before and have never seen this, I mean, it really is something special. It's quite beautiful. And the level of detail here in the Lost Continent is pretty extravagant. I mean, just look at that. And the big news over here is that Poseidon's Theory will be closing in just a few weeks at the time of recording this video. And it will be closing forever, not for refurb like they did just not too long ago, actually. But no, this is permanent. It is closing forever. So that begs the question, what's gonna happen to Poseidon's Theory and what's gonna happen to the rest of the Lost Continent? Yeah, this facade is jaw-dropping. I mean, it's huge in person. If you've never been here and you've never seen this, when you step foot to this area and you just see the scope of this, I mean, it is really amazing. And with the closure of Poseidon's Theory, that leaves 0 attractions here in the Lost Continent. The other attractions that are close by are the ones in the Wizarding World or in Seuss Landing. And this is actually the last remaining show in the park, at least to this scale. They obviously have like little street shows here and there, but something like this, yeah, this is the last in the park. And when Universal announced its closure, the speculation and rumor mill started going crazy. Me personally, I don't know if they're fully gonna demo this because they could utilize this for something else. I mean, it really is a beautiful facade. They just got this out of refurb, and I don't think that they're gonna go ahead and just knock it all down. They're gonna try to reuse it, at least that's what I think. It saves the company a little bit of money, so they don't have to go ahead and rebuild something from the ground up, and they can just utilize what's already here for a new property or a new type of attraction or whatever. And they could probably get this up and going relatively quickly instead of having to demo everything and start from scratch. Now, the attraction closes in May, and if we're kind of looking at timelines here, Epic Universe opens up in the summer of 2025. So I don't know if once this closes, they're gonna quickly start on some sort of new project to get it open in time for Epic Universe, or maybe something that's after Epic Universe. I don't know what Universal's plan is as far as like how much they want to open in 2025, if it's just Epic Universe or if they want something new for all of their theme parks. I do have a feeling though, once this attraction closes, a lot of work walls are going to go up around the Lost Continent, because I feel like Universal wants to do something to this land and maybe put some other IP in it, something more relatable, because yeah, I mean, this is an original concept, but lately, if you've been paying attention to the industry, a lot of theme park companies are throwing in as much IP as they can. They can create those environments that people know and love on film and recreate them here in the theme parks. There are still little bits and pieces of originality in the parks, but it's starting to fade. It's not as prominent anymore. Another big question mark spot, what are they going to do to Mythos? There's a lot of rumors going around that they might do something with Nintendo in this area, and a lot of people online are talking about Zelda. Now, that actually would make sense because of the architecture here in the Lost Continent. Again, they don't have to knock a bunch of stuff down. They could reuse a lot of this beautiful architecture and something new. And again, just as a reminder, the only thing that Universal has made official is the closure of Poseidon's Theory. Everything else we're talking about is just speculation and rumor. This is another really big area that they could utilize. This was a stunt show not too long ago. I actually was fortunate enough to see it back in 2017. It was the 8th voyage of Sinbad, to be specific. But yeah, it was a really cool stunt show in this theater. It's a massive theater to hold a lot of people in the park. So what's a little unfortunate about the closure of Poseidon's Theory, and of course the show behind me, is that these are massive people eaters, and they take people off the main thoroughfares in the park. So now with these venues closed, it's just more people in the main thoroughfare of the park. So I'm hoping that Universal either saves this stage for a new stage show, or they can demo the inside of this and put a really cool attraction in there, maybe another big like e-ticket attraction, because it seems like Islands of Adventure is all about pushing the boundaries. I mean, Universal in general is about pushing the boundaries, but here at Islands of Adventure, I feel it's more of like a thrill park. So wouldn't it be kind of cool to have a thrill ride in here? And it would be smart to incorporate some Nintendo characters if they wanted to do Zelda. I think they pretty much have all of the facade work, probably 60 or 70% done, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a big Zelda fan. I haven't played the games much, but if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the Zelda stuff looks like this. So again, could save the company some money on a lot of the construction and just kind of go in and build a new attraction in what's already here. But who knows, it could be something totally different. They could keep the idea of the Lost Continent and maybe do something entirely new. But look at how much space they have to play with. This venue right here, the Poseidon's Theory venue, and then the rest of the main, like, pathway for the Lost Continent. I mean, there's just so much room. This land is very big. And of course, one can't forget about the talking fountain, the mythical fountain. I hope they save them. And of course, Halloween fans are gonna be a little disappointed once this baby closes. I hope they move it to either Universal Studios or somewhere in City Walk, because the whole year-round Halloween idea for, merchandise store is pretty cool. The Lost Continent also has some really cool gift shops. You can get your henna tattoos here. There's also a palm reading. You can get a tarot card reading here. And I believe they have incense. My friend Sarah loves all this stuff because every time she comes to Islands of Adventure, she gets a tarot card reading. So yeah, when you think of the future of Islands of Adventure and the future of the Lost Continent, the possibilities could essentially be endless. They have so much space to work with. It's a massive land. They could put a couple new big e-ticket attractions in here to really draw the gate. And honestly, if they did something that opened up in 2025 with Epic Universe, if they did something in every single park, that would be epic. That would be really cool. Remember, they built the Diagon Alley expansion to Universal Studios in roughly 2 years. So they could do something on that same timetable here in the Lost Continent, since a lot of the stuff is already kind of built if they decide to keep it. Now, if they decide to demo a lot of what's here in the Lost Continent, then that timetable could be a lot longer, depending on the scope and the scale of the project. But I have a feeling they're going to keep the aesthetic here because it really is, it's cool. I mean, it's very unique and original, and they could tie it together with a bunch of other things. Now I have Michael here with me. What do you think about this whole entire area? What do you think they're going to do with the Lost Continent now that Poseidon's Theory is going to be closing?
See, I don't know if they're just going to tear it all down, which I doubt. I feel like it's going to be a lot of money.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time. And the thing is, like, I do want another show, but I also don't, because they don't last. The general public just doesn't really, I don't think they consume shows as much as they do with, like, attractions for obvious reasons. But I don't know. I feel like it's go either way. I feel like
it's a big mystery.
They might put another show in there with the new land that they're going to make.
A new show would be nice because it would be a people eater, like what I was talking about earlier, but a big attraction would be really nice as well. But you do make a good point that a lot of the general population, they like shows, but then again, a lot of people want to come to the theme park and just ride a bunch of rides, so I think that's why they didn't have an issue closing this thing a couple years ago. And you could tell, like, on the building, like the building looks beautiful, but you can, like, look ever so closely and see that it's been neglected. So it does beg the question, like, will they in fact tear this down, or would they reutilize it? I think they would reutilize it because it is gorgeous. And yeah, I mean, how much money would it cost to demo all this stuff and then just rebuild something else?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money. And you already have a lot of, like, tree growth over here, so whatever you can save, I think, is, like, the better option. Now, they could do a new stunt show back here. I think stunt shows do really well. The Born Stuntacular over at Universal Studios is very well done. And if you've never seen that, I highly suggest checking that show out because it's pretty darn cool, especially with the technology they're using in the show. But a new show back here, a new stunt show, I think that would do really well for Islands of Adventure. They have a couple big theaters. They have one over in Toon Lagoon as well. But maybe they could use at least one of them for a new type of show. And as far as attractions go, I wouldn't mind a new roller coaster. I wouldn't mind a new dark ride. I think Universal can do another dark ride. I think it's time. We've seen what they can do with Secret Life of Pets, and dark rides like that are just so darn good, and especially for the kids. Something that the whole family could ride is definitely a plus. Even though this is the thrill park, like I was talking about earlier, if they did something more thrilling, they could, and they could incorporate really cool elements to the attraction, maybe some new technology in there that we haven't seen yet. That would be fun. But I think they can also benefit off of a family attraction. But the land is big enough to do multiple things. They could do 2 or 3 new attractions here. This is going to be such a fun project to watch because I'm curious, will they only close off Poseidon's Fury? Will they close off the entire land? Will they do something back here? Or who knows? That's what's so fun about this whole entire process. I'm always excited for the future. I love the construction process at theme parks, and it's just gonna be so much fun to watch what's going to be happening here at the Lost Continent, Islands of Adventure. And then once you pass the Halloween boutique store, you end up making the transition over into Hogsmeade, the Wizarding World. Let's not forget that Universal is capable of doing some amazing things. I mean, look at the land that we're stepping foot in right now, the Wizarding World. This land in particular jump-started the industry, and it changed the industry forever. Making our way into Hagrid's, another attraction here in the Wizarding World that Universal just knocked it out of the park with. So good. And again, if this is just any indication of what the future holds for what they're capable of, you know, I'm very excited of it. We've experienced Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, and I'm going to tell you this right now, if they do more Nintendo here at Islands of Adventure, whether it be a different property in Nintendo, they will dominate. They will dominate. And it's already been confirmed that they're doing Nintendo and Epic Universe, so could you imagine something else at Islands of Adventure? I mean, it's a no-brainer. The movie that just came out is making boatloads of money, so it makes sense to give people more of that. So much fun on Hagrid's, but Hagrid's is yet another perfect example of Universal reusing some old ride buildings to create something new and exciting. Here was the Dueling Dragons coaster, or Dragons Challenge, which I was so fortunate to go on. I'm so happy that I got both those credits before they tore them down, but they sat right here, they tore both those coasters down, and they built the Hagrid's motorbike coaster, and they reused a lot of the former ride building's structure. They didn't need to tear anything down, really. They could just reuse a lot of it. They built a couple new things, like the drop track section back there and Hagrid's hut and all that kind of fun stuff, but mainly this area wasn't changed all that much. So it goes to show that Universal can and will reutilize something in order to save a few extra bucks. And I think that's what they're gonna do with the Lost Continent. And again, going back to the timetables, they tore down Dragon's Challenge, or Dueling Dragons, and built this in roughly about a year and like 8 months or so. It was like under 2 years. It was really quick, which was really cool. And when they built Diagon Alley, they got rid of the Jaws attraction over there at Universal. They demolished that and built Diagon Alley from the ground up, essentially, in about 2 years and some change. So Universal is definitely capable of doing something very, very quick. So they could close the Lost Continent, gives them about 2 years and 3 or 4 months till summer of 2025 to get something open. Made it over here to Toon Lagoon, where I mentioned the other theater. Yeah, this is it right here. It's been sitting stagnant for quite some time. So again, another really good spot for the park to expand and put a new attraction here, or another show. A lot of land, again, tons of space here. So it's a big mystery, and I'm so excited for Islands of Adventure's future, because I feel like Universal is just getting started with this park, and all their parks, really. I feel like we're going through a Universal decade, just like the Disney decade, where we saw some incredible growth. I think we're gonna see some incredible growth here at the Universal parks. Oh man, just got off Popeyes and Dudley's, and I'm soaking wet, but it feels so good. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Go ahead and comment down below, what do you think is gonna be coming next to Islands of Adventure? Do you think they're gonna be doing something to the Lost Continent? Do you think they're gonna be doing something here behind me at Toon Lagoon? I have a feeling that we're gonna see some big changes in the Lost Continent, and yeah, rumor has it, maybe some Nintendo stuff, maybe even some new original attractions. You never know, nothing is official until Universal says it is, so remember, we're just having fun here on the channel. I don't really like to say something is for sure, especially when a company hasn't said it's for sure, but nonetheless, it's so much fun to speculate, and I cannot wait for the future of the Lost Continent, and possibly here behind me at Toon Lagoon. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and you love these theme park videos from Universal or Disney or some of your other favorites, consider subscribing, because I have brand new videos every single week. Be sure to check out my Instagram account by following the link down below, but until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is, and I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.